Hello, welcome to my home. Today is all about having a productive morning. I have a soup to make. I have meat to package up. Let's see what we can get into. Sometimes I just love to hit it strong in the morning, and then whatever my big project of the day it's all done, and I can have a more relaxing afternoon. Not that I'm not going to do any work around the house, but it just feels like whatever happens, happens, and whatever doesn't happen, it's a lot more relaxed that way. So it's kind of a cozy, snowy day. I've got quite the setup going here. If you notice, this is, let's see, what was it called? I got this new magnifying lamp. It's in 3 sections, 10 times magnification. I really got it because, well, the company sent it to me, and I only say yes to companies if it's something I really actually want. So when they sent me this whole situation that clamps to the desk, I thought, boy, that's worth looking at for my manicures. And also, I would like to get going in cross stitch again and embroidery. But the eyes just aren't what they used to be. I'm sure my husband could use it for close work that he is doing. So it has this little remote at the end for turning it on and off, and you can dim the light, and you can also make it brighter, and then you can change what color. I always like white light, but you can also go yellow with the light. I just love the white so much because it just feels more like outside. So, I can adjust this, and so I'm excited to do my nails with it at 10 times magnification, because since I've been doing gel nails for myself, what I notice is if I get it on the skin, it's too easy to peel off. So thank you anyway, Nose Big. I hope I'm saying that. I'll have the links in the description box and in the first comment. But I can't wait to show you this early morning productive day. I'm hoping that this will give you motivation, encouragement to do your projects during the day. Whenever we have energy in the morning, it's just so nice to get them done early, and then you feel like the rest of the day, whatever happens, happens, and if nothing else productive happens, that's fine too. So I'm excited to get into it.
It's been a crazy winter, but it has finally settled in. It finally looks like winter in Maine. One of the things I've been really working on as a person is not wasting food. I'm trying to use the digital coupons. I'm looking at sales every week. I'm trying to cook according to sales, but also trying definitely not to waste food. One of the things that can happen is if I don't deal with the meats when they come in, then they get past their using date, Also, I had made chicken broth the night before, and I wanted to get that used up into a soup. So I'm taking the chicken broth and any meats that need to be divided up and frozen out of the refrigerator. And doing this is so very important, but it's also something that is easy to procrastinate. So I got some good deals on meat, and I definitely wanted to get them put in the freezer before they rotted, and I didn't want to waste the work of making chicken broth. But I saw some mess in the refrigerator. Some of the meat juice, let's just put that nicely, had leaked, and I need to get my liners back in the refrigerator. So getting out all of the broth, and I did use a little bit of a razor blade there on the glass because it was really stuck on. So 45-degree angle with a razor blade works like a charm. I'm definitely thankful that I grew up with a frugal mom. She was so good at stretching out her dollars and also very good at cooking from scratch. And I have found those skills to be so useful in saving money in the kitchen. Honestly, even if you have the money for these crazy grocery prices, saving money on your groceries allows you to use that money for something that is a lot more fun. I also like to wear gloves when I handle raw meat, then I don't feel all grossed out. So what I like to do is separate the meat, and I put each piece in saran wrap. I'm giving it the nose test just to make sure. I wrap each piece in saran wrap, and then I put it in a Gladlock bag. Where I have older kids, you don't always know who's going to be home. I don't like to overcook, cook too much, because in most cases we are not a leftovers type family. It really depends on the meat. If it's like chicken thigh, that usually gets eaten up If it's a full recipe, a lot of times, unless it's something my daughter Rachel eats, she's really good at eating up the leftovers. It oftentimes doesn't get eaten, so I prefer to make according to who I know will be home for supper. And of course, that's never 100%. There's times when I didn't think somebody would be home and they end up home, or I did think they would be home and they ended up having plans. So it's definitely not perfect, but I just like to do everything that I can. So I also like to label each of the bags. That's something I haven't been doing well at in the past, and I'm trying to change that now, because sometimes, even though I might remember what it is, not everybody in the family realizes what it is. And this was some pork chops that had been on sale. There's always one meat at my grocery store that is on sale for 99 cents a pound each week. I think this was actually $1.29 though, but I put pork scallopine on there because I'm just telling myself what I had planned to do with that meat. I don't usually do that. Now with the chicken legs I have here, these were also a 99-cent deal that I got. I just put these in the bag because I knew we would at least cook one package full. I end up having another package as well before I use this up, so that went in another bag. But I know I'll use a full package of the chicken legs, so I didn't bother to individually wrap those. But I know some people, what they'll do, if you don't want to individually wrap with saran wrap, because that just makes it easy to bring out, but what you can do is, let's say you can put your portions on a cookie sheet, put the cookie sheet in the freezer with the portions separated, and then when it's frozen, you can put it in the bag frozen. I think you have a pretty good chance of it staying separated, because even though I wrap this individually, sometimes chicken breasts still kind of stick together and I have to pry them apart, which might happen too if you that would be called flash freezing if you put it on the cookie sheet. But by and large, it would probably work out quite well. You know, I've done that before with fruit, like if you were freezing strawberries or something like that. But the freezer is a great way to easily preserve food. And I think sometimes we forget how many things you can actually freeze. I mean, you can freeze milk, you can freeze cheese. There's a lot that you can freeze, especially let's say you're going on vacation and you know that you've got food in the fridge that's not going to be good when you get home. You can always be popping it in the freezer. So this is just a habit I like to have, is every week when I come home from the grocery store or have my groceries delivered, is to separate out the meat and get it in the freezer. I often do this even if I think it's not going to be even if I think it's going to be used the next day. Oftentimes I will still freeze it just in case my plans change. I also really love being able to shop my grocery store online because I can see the flyer. I can click on items within the digital flyer, the sales flyer, and order it right there. And also the same with coupons. I can clip coupons on my store's website, so I'm not carrying around paper coupons anymore, which I actually love, and I can check out the coupons before I look at the sales flyer, and that way I can buy things that are on sale and have a coupon. That is super, super satisfying. And then usually the day before the new flyer comes out, you can get a sneak peek online, so that's another great way to do it. So lately I've been trying to purchase things that are on sale, or that I have a coupon that is a good deal, because some coupons aren't a good deal. It's just as easy to get the store brand and save even more money. But then I take what I have and I do meal plans from that. You'll see my pantry later in this video, so I just want to tell you this was filmed before I did my pantry clean out. And now I'm also including what's in the pantry, trying to use it all down, because I am not in a stockpiling mood lately. The last year or so, I've wanted to keep things cooked and then buy according to what we're actually going to use, because I just don't feel time and energy to be rotating stock, keeping stuff in the basement, that sort of thing. So I really would rather have a lower inventory of food and just shop weekly sales and use that for my meal plans. Much rather do that than to have a lot on hand. But if you want to learn how to have a stockpile, I would suggest watching She's in Her Apron. She has a lot of videos online about this, and I know you could learn a lot from her. Now I'm just rearranging things in the freezer, making room for my meats. I like to have the meats up top and vegetables and other things on the bottom. Also, another person who does a lot with pantry, having pantry staples and what to get and how to make a lot of meals from a small amount of food is, oh my goodness, I gotta look her up. Hang on. It is Denise Jordan, and her channel is called Homemaking with Denise. She is also a great resource for the pantry. Woozy is relaxing while I do all the work. He has no desire to be a foreman. That's Leo's job. I'm getting my crock pot plugged in, so now that I have all of the meat taken care of, and since it is still morning, I thought it would be a great time to get a chicken soup in. And what I like to do with chicken soup in the crock pot is I'll make all of it, except for I won't put the meat in. If the meat is pre-cooked, and it always is, it's usually leftover meat from a roast or chicken, then what I do, because it's already cooked, is I'll put the meat in like 30 minutes before we eat. Because I find if I put cooked meat in the morning with everything else, then it oftentimes falls apart and it feels like there's hardly any meat because it's all kind of dissolved into the stock. I mean, it'll taste really good. It just won't seem like those chunks of meat that you want to have. My husband had packaged the broth the night before for me because toxic trait is starting a roaster chicken at night after supper, and then I'm too tired to deal with it. So he helped me out by packaging the broth because I was making a broth. So that last blob was when I actually cooked the chicken. That was when more of the fat came out. As you see, Leo has his job. He's taking very seriously as the foreman. Now I'm getting out the carrots, and then I'm going to go over to the pantry and get myself onions and some potatoes. So see how messy the pantry is? This was before I did that. I had some potatoes in a Gladluck bag because I had a bag where some of the potatoes rotted, which is always so sad. Oh, there's the back window. Isn't that pretty? Some of them had rotted, which is so sad. So I took the good ones and put them in a Gladluck bag after I had rinsed them, and then I threw the bad ones away. So just taking a little trash bag here. If you notice, usually when I'm doing something in the kitchen, in fact, earlier when I was packaging the meat, I go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I get so many steps in a day just in my house, because I don't know why I wasn't just waiting to put all of the meat packages together and then throw them away all at once. I was walking back and forth to the trash, but I do get a lot of steps that way. That's where I get my exercise. So I probably shouldn't change it, but there's a part of me that's like, it would be a lot more efficient, and you probably get a lot less tired and have more energy to do more things if you would wait and put all of the meat packaging in the trash at the same time. But I think part of it is I'm just kind of, I don't know, grossed out by meat packaging, and I don't want it anywhere near anything where it could contaminate, so I like to get it in the trash as soon as possible. When I do make a chicken soup, normally I just do potatoes, carrots, and onion, but really it's a great base to put whatever vegetable you have on hand into that pot, and do like a chicken vegetable soup would be so very good. Or you could put noodles in there for a chicken noodle soup. I tend to prefer potatoes plus noodles. If you have it left over, noodles just absorb all of the broth, so I'm not big on making chicken noodle soup. By the way, I had gotten this calendar that has all the different holidays on it, but holidays we don't know about or days we don't know about. So this video is going up on Sunday, February 2nd. So if you're seeing it the day it went up, which by the way is Groundhog Day, but that wasn't even going to be what I was going to say. I was actually going to tell you that for some reason it's Hedgehog Day. I don't quite understand what that means, but I do know that hedgehogs are very, very cute. So speaking of cute, look at this weird carrot. I love carrots. And then tomorrow on Monday, February 3rd, is Golden Retriever Day. So if you have a Golden Retriever, you must surely be wanting to give him some extra treats. Tuesday on the 4th is Thank a Mail Carrier Day. And then my next video is going to go up on Wednesday, February 5th. And that's World Nutella Day. Do you like Nutella? We liked it for a while. I can't have it because for some reason, after I had my gallbladder out back in 1993, I developed a sensitivity to hazelnut. I can't have hazelnut coffee, I can't eat hazelnuts, and I can't have Nutella, which is very sad because I do find it to be very tasty. If you are someone who is watching their food budget, let us know in the comments section. And if you have any tips on how to save money on groceries, if you write them down or type them out, and then anyone who is watching this video can go through and read all the comments and we can all learn from each other. I know I have certainly learned from all of you, and I know that others would definitely benefit. Everybody has their own ideas. Do you think cooking from scratch saves you money, or do you think it costs extra in the long run? I know sometimes I can get a frozen pizza at the grocery store, like the name or the store brand, for $4.99 for a pizza. And I really would have to say I don't think I could make one for $4.99 by the time I bought the sauce and especially the cheese. Made my own dough. Like the dough would be really inexpensive, but then the sauce and the cheese and whatever toppings, sometimes I do think a frozen pizza is less expensive than making one on my own. Of course, you can't compare the flavor because the flavor of a frozen pizza is nowhere near what a homemade one would be for sure. So do you think you save money by cooking scratch? Do you tend to cook scratch, or do you tend to cook out of the freezer? Do you tend to use a lot of packaged goods, or do you like to be chopping and all the things? Also, I'm always challenged in the refrigerator because of the amount of produce that I buy and using up produce before it goes bad. I'm pretty good with the meat, but produce is something I really need to work on, especially when it comes to things like tomatoes, making sure that I use the tomatoes before they go bad. Trying to think what else in the refrigerator. We always have to be careful. But fruit, like someone might ask me for fruit and then they don't eat it. Those kind of things are always a big challenge. So that's something I need to work at, is preserving the produce that I buy and making sure I have a plan for all of it. One more thing I wanted to ask you, because it might show up in future videos here. Do you make special foods for the Super Bowl? Do you watch the Super Bowl, or do you not watch it? And do you make any special foods for Valentine's Day? I would love to know if you celebrate those two things. Not that Super Bowl is, well, I guess it is kind of a celebration. We do tend to make game food on the Super Bowl. I mean, honestly, in this life, any excuse to celebrate, I think, is wonderful. And I do like to make some fun things at Valentine's Day. As simple as maybe pancakes that are in a heart shape, that sort of thing can be awful fun, or just getting a nice dessert from the grocery store. But also on Super Bowl, we have a special nacho dip that I know I already have filmed for you that you'll definitely see that we love. It's vegan and gluten-free, but honestly, that's not why we make it. We make it because it is so delicious. And then there's another dip I want to make that's like a corn and bean dip with queso fresco that we usually have on the Super Bowl. And then, of course, wings. What do you like to cook? If you do make anything special for the Super Bowl, what do you like to make? I just love to have party food once in a while. I think it's a great day for charcuterie board. Funny thing is, though, we do the special foods. I never stay up, usually, to finish watching the Super Bowl. Honestly, I turn into a pumpkin 9:30 at night, and then I'm in bed. But I do enjoy some of the just family time before I go to bed, and then I let them have their fun and enjoy the food. I go to bed just kind of hoping that they'll clean up. Interestingly, my girls have been helping me a lot extra lately without me asking them to around the house. In fact, my daughter Rachel has gotten into the habit of seeing if she can get me ice water at night. And I'm like, did you guys, I want to ask them, I haven't, did you guys have a conversation? Did you all decide that mom's getting old and needs help? I mean, yes, I agree with all of you that they should be helping anyway. It's just everybody's been helping extra, and it all kind of started overnight, and I'm a little bit suspicious. So I feel like I need to ask them if they had a conversation together where they all decided together. Yvonne cleaned both the bathrooms. She and Creasy have been doing dishes. Rachel's been doing dishes and folding laundry. It's all very interesting. I hope it sticks around. I hope it's not because they think something is wrong with me, because I'm fine. Always working on getting healthier, though, that is for sure. So now that I have all of my little chores done, I am washing up these few dishes, and all of this happened in the morning. And because it doesn't always happen this way, that I'm so productive in the mornings lately, I thought this definitely has to be filmed. I'm going to put it on my calendar that I filmed it, that it happened. I'm going to celebrate. No, I'm not really going to celebrate it as a holiday. But I did decide I would just get these hand washed up really quick. The dishwasher was already full, so I didn't want to put anything else in there. And then I could go about my day. I had some errands to run, some places to go. And it always feels so good when I can get whatever little projects I had in my mind done before I leave or before the day takes off. And then I know it's been done. I can relax the rest of the day. I can do other things. And I really love having dinner in the crock pot all ready to go. I love my crock pot so much. I actually have 3 crock pots right now. And that was because I got 2 from Goodwill at 2 different times. So I had 2, and then I got 1 more for Christmas because I knew I was going to do soups with all the kids home. So I have, and then I have a 4th crock pot. That's a mini crock pot because I like to put things in that are just going to smell good, do simmer pots. I like to put in anything that kind of reminds me of good smelling food, like it could be oranges, an orange clove, and a little bit of nutmeg or ginger. It could be Italian seasonings. If you think about it, you can put anything in a crock pot, apples and cinnamon, and fill your whole house with a nice smell. And I think especially if you have cats, there's some concerns even with candle scents, especially with essential oils and how they affect cats. But good smelling food isn't going to hurt your cat. So you don't have to worry, even for yourself, if you have chemical sensitivities, that you're going to cause yourself to be sick from a simmer pot. So I love having my smaller crock pot for that. It really does fill the whole house, and it's a great way to use like apple peels or orange peels and then be putting like cinnamon or cloves in with them. I like having mint in the simmer pot. Sometimes I've even put a couple of tea bags in. It's just about your imagination. You can find plenty of recipes online too, but I really do love having the simmer pots. And then I also have a wax melt now. Not a wax melt, but it's a candle warmer. I got it for $5 at Walmart. And so the candles that I do have, I can just sit on the warmer, and then I don't have to worry about my cats, burning this up with a flame, because it is hard to keep cats away from just about everything. I used to always be productive in the morning, and I have found myself being a little slower to get moving this winter. So this day was giving me some hope that I might get back to the old Karen, the one that was, conquering the world in the morning. I mean, sometimes I end up editing in the morning, so that is still work, but I really am trying to get back in a good cleaning routine, get back to doing dishes in the morning and setting the house up for the day, kind of as though we were having company, getting the living room tidied from the night before, all the blankets folded and put away, getting the bed made. In fact, on this day, I would have had making the bed in here, but my husband made the bed, so I didn't have to. So I definitely appreciated that. And I'm loving having a little bit of snow. We had such a long time with no snow, and still we're not getting very much, like 4 inches at the most, When there's been so many winters where every single storm was over a foot of snow, it's really kind of interesting to have a winter with hardly any snow. The good part about it, though, is I don't have to worry about travel. In fact, you know it's bad when Pensacola, Florida is getting more snow than Maine. But it's been nice that we're not canceling plans for snow. And usually in Maine, I mean, you might cancel plans while the storm is happening, but then we have all the infrastructure to clean things up quickly. So an inch of snow and a foot of snow pretty much clean up the same here. I think the big thing is if you get lots of ice, but even then, plenty of sand, plenty of salt, we get things cleaned up pretty quickly. I definitely appreciate all of you spending your time with me. I really hope that this little morning productive video has helped you and helped you to get motivated, inspired to be doing what needs to be done around your home and saving money on your groceries, preserving food so that it doesn't get wasted. I hope you find some good hints down in the comments section. If you are new, because we have some new folks, which is so very exciting, I am the mom to 7 kids. They're all adults, but 4 of my daughters that are between the ages of 18 and 26 live with me. So here's another look at the snow.
Remember, as always, God loves you and I love you too, and I can't wait to see you next time.